Hi, I am Rabbi Tuvia Server. The purpose of this video is to explain to you what's the Bnei Noach app and how to use it. This app was developed by myself. I program it, etc., etc. And the purpose of the app is to serve for Bnei Noach. That means non-Jews that want to follow the message of Judaism with tools, to give you tools to pray, to connect to God, to learn, etc. So let's go through the different sections of the app briefly to understand how you can really enjoy and use this. First of all, on the top, we find a few icons. Over there you can see there's a privacy policy. The app does not collect any kind of information. It doesn't give me or anyone any of your private data. Forget it. No problem with that. Then you have the settings button where you can see there are a few cards over here. I'm going to jump over the first one on purpose. Let's go to the second one. Choose text size, of course, if you need help with the eyes, so you can choose a bigger text size. Notify thought messages means the app can send you a message to think, to connect to God daily. You can choose whether to receive it or not. Community messages is something for Spanish-speaking people. Then you can choose the theme of the app, light, dark, or whatever your system gives. And the last card is the amount of messages that the community receives. This is also only for Spanish. Now let's go to the first button, choose languages. Because the app has many options in different languages, so I chose to divide the different options of the app, and you can choose language for different options. The general language of the app, you can choose Spanish, English, Portuguese, or Italian. Then you have language for prayers. There's also the Netherlands and Hebrew. Language for translating articles. This is Google's translation. Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's not. Let's just keep it at French. You can choose whatever language you want to translate articles in case you understand better a different language than the app's language. Tanya, I'm going to explain later what this means. You can choose in Spanish, Portuguese, English, and Italian. Thoughts, also a few languages. Psalms, you have all the psalms in these different languages. And YouTube and podcasts, I only have Spanish and English. And articles also in Spanish and English. So let's keep them all in English, except for the translation, you will see how it works. In most of the screens, you will see like a little house on the top right. That takes you actually to the first screen. As soon as you install the app in your device, you're going to see like a screen that leads you to read the first article, which is an introduction of what the 7 laws of Bnei Noach are. Like, what is this app talking all about? Let's go back. And then the second button is prayers. Prayers means you have all kinds of prayers for different moments of the day or your life. First of all, there's a brief explanation of to whom do we pray, what does it mean to pray, etc. And then you see prayers upon waking up. You have prayers before sleeping, all kinds of ideas. Many of them have psalms or other prayers. These prayers are specifically for Bnei Noach. These are not taken from the Jewish prayer book, which is a different thing. You should not use a Jewish prayer book because it talks about Jews, not about non-Jews. The third button is community. This is only available in Spanish. It's a community of people. There are like around 450 people that interact and talk and ask questions, I answer, etc. Let's go to the second line, Parsha. Parsha means the weekly Torah reading. You have a summary of the weekly Torah reading, and it changes automatically every week. Psalms. In this case, we chose in English. You have monthly psalms. We used to read every day of the month, of the Hebrew month, a different group of psalms. You can see them in Hebrew, or you can choose a different language, whatever. If you want Spanish psalms, you will see it in Spanish. Let's go back to English. Or you can choose a psalm, select one and just read that one. And one very interesting thing is you can choose favorite psalms. When you're reading a psalm, let's go to the first book, Tehillim 1, first psalm, you see a little heart on the bottom of each psalm, or you can share them to whomever you want, or you can choose them as favorite. So when you go back, you see in the bottom favorite psalms, and you can see the psalms you selected as favorite ones. If you want to unselect one, you just press the heart again and it goes away. What is this for? For instance, our custom is to read the psalm of your age plus one, because for instance, I'm 49 years old, I'm leaving my 50th year, so I read every day the psalm number 50. And I also read the psalms for my children. So I have all the psalms selected and I use my favorite psalms. That's about psalms. Blessings. This screen it just selects all the blessings from the prayer book, so to speak, and it's a fast way of reaching a specific blessing if you need it for food or for whatever you need it. Then read. There's a bunch of articles. I continually add more. There are not so many. In Spanish, there are more. And you can, read the article at your pace. When you finish reading the article, you will see that the article keeps marked. You can long press on it and unmark it, or long press on it and mark it again, or you can share it, the article, with anybody else. It's a link to my website where the article is actually stored. On the top, you'll see a word, which gives you the option to choose the language for the articles. There are more articles in Spanish, like I just said. Let's go back to English. And you see a little cross over here, an X. You can delete the list of read articles. So if you accept, they're going to be clean again, so to speak. Then you have teachings. Most of these things are in Spanish, but for instance, the Parshas Noach, the weekly reading, you can choose whatever reading you want, and you will see the summary in English. Then you have Tanya. Tanya, it's a book written by the Alter Rebbe, Rabbi Shimon Zalman of Yaldi, which is the founder. He was the founder of Chabad Hasidic movement. This is an adaptation that I wrote, and somebody else helped me to translate into English. And you can see, you can read it. It's a very interesting book, and actually talks about the unity of God. It's a very deep and mystical book to understand what does it mean that God is one, which actually means that the only thing that exists is one, is God. But 12 chapters, which that's what the book actually consists of, and you have them over here. It's not the translation of the book. It's my own adaptation of the book, chapter by chapter. Thoughts, you receive every day one thought. And if you don't want to receive the notifications, anyway, the thoughts are over there, and you can just read them. If you see at the bottom of each thought, there's a icon that actually can translate the thought, and it's going to translate the thought or whatever you're reading, for instance, an article, into the language that you selected as your default language for translations. In this case, it's French. I don't understand French, but whatever. Let's say Google knows how to translate. Let's say news. This is somewhere, it is a place where I put different classes and news and things for everybody to know. Then you can search the videos. There are two channels. There's a Spanish channel and an English channel. In this case, because you selected English, we selected English, so you can search for the English channel. For instance, the English thoughts. Videos in the channel. For instance, Parsha, whatever, you can read. And it gives you the list of videos in the web YouTube channel, and if you press on one of them, it's going to take you to YouTube to watch the video. I don't want to listen to me now. Then you have search articles. The same articles you can read in this bottom of glasses. In this bottom, you can actually search for them. For instance, theft. So you search for that, and then it gives you an article. When you go back, it retains the last search you made, and you can clean this list with the same X on the top. You can clean the list, and it goes away. Then you have a present. This present is like a card. It's a drawing, actually. It's like a card with the 7 Noahide laws, and you can share it. On the bottom, you see a share button in whatever application you want, to whomever you want, to share this message of Judaism for non-Jews. Then you have podcasts. Podcasts are actually the same videos that are found in YouTube, but you can listen to them within the app without accessing YouTube. The advantage of this is that YouTube doesn't allow you to listen to something unless you're watching it. In this case, with the podcast, you can actually listen even if you're not watching. For instance, let's say Torah reading. So we have a bunch of things in Torah reading. So let's go for this one. And you will see a podcast player, and you can start playing the podcasts. And even if you actually leave the app, it's going to continue playing. You'll see a notification. Here it is. You can stop, or you can continue, or you can go back to the app. That's like a podcast play. And you can select favorite episodes from a series or favorite podcasts. So when you go back, you see favorite. So that gives you see on the bottom episodes. I also have ones in Spanish. You see Torah reading or podcasts. I have some Spanish ones and some English ones. You can search for podcasts, or you can search for episodes in English or in Spanish, whatever language you chose. And you can have a contact. The contact button sends an email to me, so you can contact me with whatever question you want. It's okay, it's welcome. Then you have a help screen, which explains briefly all the icons and all the places in the app, how to use them. And then you have credits, because some people helped me to translate to Spanish, to English, to Italian, whatever. So you see over here the people that helped me. I hope you enjoy the app. I invite you to download it. It's available for Android and for iPhone. And I hope you can connect to God. You can grow in your connection to Him, and you can actually understand the messages of Judaism for non-Jews. And again, I hope you enjoy it. And I'm available if you have any comments. Here I am. Thank you and enjoy.